Okay, so Chapter 32, which is non-current asset held for sale. So again, ito yung ano natin. This is under PFRS number 5, no? Okay, so this is non-current. So non-current asset held for sale. Yan. So the technical knowledge that we can gain here is number one, to understand the recognition of non-current asset held for sale. So yung paano ba natin siya maka-classify as non-current asset held for sale? Ano ba siya? Ano ba yung nature nitong non-current asset held for sale? To know the conditions for the classification of a non-current assets held for sale. Okay? Ano ba yung mga kondisyon leading to para ma-classify as non-current held for sale? Pag-iusapan natin yan. And then to know the measurement and presentation of non-current asset held for sale. Saan ba siya inilalagay? Sa current asset o dun sa non-current asset? Kasi ano na siya, kumbaga ibebenta siya within 1 year. So, hindi ba siya ilalagay dun sa current asset? No? So, mga ganun. To know the recognition of a non-current asset that ceases to be classified as held for sale. Okay, so ano ba itong non-current asset? So alam naman natin pag sinabi nating non-current asset, no? Okay, ano yung unang pumapasok sa isipan natin? Yung mga land, no? Building, okay? Equipment. So these are yung mga yung mga assets, particularly building and equipment, mga depreciable asset, and of course land, no, which is non-depreciable. Pero these are what we consider typically as non-current asset. Ayan. So nakalagay diyan sa definition diyan sa page 674, a non-current asset is an asset that does not meet the definition of a current asset. Of course, no? So hindi raw so not a current asset. Of course, kung hindi siya current asset, then it is a non-current. No? Ang gandang definition, no? Napakasimple. The non-current asset may be an individual asset. So it may be itong non-current asset may be individual, no? So ibig sabihin, nag-iisang asset siya. Or a group, yan, or a group of assets, ayan, to be disposed. So, yeah, to be disposed of by sale or otherwise. So, together as a group in a single transaction. So, ito, no? So, together as a group, as a single transaction. So, as a single, kumbaga, parang lump sum siya. Single transaction, no? Pag binili mo yung isa, kailangan lahat bilhin mo. Yon. So, so a disposal group is a group of assets to be disposed of or by sale or otherwise. So together as a group, as in a single transaction, and liabilities directly associated with those assets that will be transferred in a transaction. Halimbawa, let's say nagbenta ng mga sasakyan yung isang company. So fleet of transportation, no? Okay? Which is part of a non-current asset. So yung kung ano yung naandun dun sa sasakyan na yun, let's say yung asset niya, yung fair value niya, yung halaga niya, tapos kung meron siyang encumbrances, let's say meron siyang mga utang, itong mga group, let's say itong mga fleet of vehicles na to, i-assume rin nung buyer. So nakalagay dito, no, yung non-current asset held for sale, PFRS number 5, paragraph 6. Yan. Paragraph 6 provides that a non-current asset or disposal group is classified as held for sale if the carrying amount will be recovered principally, okay, through a sale or transaction rather than through continuing use. So, ang sabi lang dito sa PFRS paragraph 6, na itong non-current asset raw is, or this non-current asset or disposal group is classified as held for sale, classified as held for sale. Okay, so may pumasok, no? Okay, so it is classified as held for sale. Now, okay, mag-alala, no? Kung yung iba nagkakaroon ng fluctuation dun sa internet nila, naka-record naman to, so you can access it, no? Okay? So, ito, so paragraph number 5, PFRS number 5, paragraph 6, provide that a non-current asset or disposal group is classified as held for sale if the carrying amount will be recovered principally. So kung baga ma-recover siya, no, yung carrying amount niya. Carrying amount will be recovered. Okay? Recovered principally through a sale transaction rather than continuing use. So ibig sabihin, imbis na ma-impair yung asset na yon, kumbaga ma-obsolete, no, ibibenta na lang. Let's say itong equipment na to, no, itong equipment na to gumagawa siya ng particular na na mga cellphone, no. Ang kaso na obsolete yung cellphone. So ano pa yung use ng equipment na yon kung hindi ibenta? So at least ma-recover man lang yung carrying amount pagka ibinenta to, kaysa sa yung bang naandun lang yung wala na siyang, hindi na siya, kumbaga yun lang yung kanyang pinaka usage, no? So might as well ibenta mo na lang. So this simply means that the entity does not intend to use the asset as part of the ongoing business, but instead intends to sell it and recover the carrying amount. So imbis na itutuloy pa niya yon, let's say obsolete na yung yung produkto, no? So ano pa yung use nung nung equipment, no? Kaysa kumbaga ipon lang ng alikabok yon, di ibenta na lang. Okay? So ito na. So ano ba yung mga conditions, no? Conditions for classifications. Yan. Conditions for classifications as held for sale. Yan. Okay, so tignan natin, ha. Okay, so nakalagay dyan, a non-current asset or disposal group shall be classified as held for sale. Okay? As held for sale if the following conditions are present. So number 1, ano yung present? The asset or disposal group is available, no? The asset or disposal group, okay, is available for immediate sale in its proper condition in the present condition. So ano ibig sabihin yan? Ibig sabihin as is. Wala nang wala nang kumbaga as is where is kung no? So hindi mo na papagandahin siya. So kumbaga parang take it as it is. Para ba yung kotse binenta, no? Okay, sige, 100,000 yan. As is where is. Wala nang yan. Kung ano yung nakikita mo, what you see is what you get, no? So yun na yun, no? Hindi na i-refurbish, wala nang ganon, no? Tapos ibebenta ng mas mataas, hindi na. Okay, kasi ang purpose dito is ma-recover lang yung carrying amount, okay? So, and number 2 is, ito yung mga classification para matawag na held for sale. Number 2, the sale is highly probable. Okay, so malamang kaysa hindi na may bebenta siya. Okay, highly probable. So these are the 2 conditions to be called as held for sale. Now, definition of highly probable, nakalagay, ano ibig sabihin ng highly probable? Okay, so lagay natin highly probable. Okay? Ano yung mga conditions? So number one, management must be committed to a plan to sell the asset or disposal group. So yung management must be committed. Okay? So ibig sabihin yan, walang pag-aalinlangan na ibibenta ng management yan. Kumbaga may approval na yan. Okay? So ano yan, na ipursue nila yung pagbebenta. Letter B is yan, para masabing highly probable. Okay, so number 2 is or letter B is an active program to locate a buyer and complete the plan must have been initiated. So there should be an active plan to locate a buyer. So maghahanap sila ng buyer nung nila yung mga assets held for sale. So para masabing highly probable sila. Kumbaga, determinado sila na hanapin yung buyer na yon. Pwede nilang ipa-ads, let's say, ganun, or let's say, dun sa industry journal, pwede nilang paalam na, okay, binibenta namin yung ganito, yung paggawa ng ganyang produkto. Okay, so, sino yung interesado? Kahit dun sa industry journal nung company kung saan siya nag-ooperate, no? In letter C, okay, letter C is the sale is expected to be completed within 1 year. So completed within 1 year. Okay. So within 1 year from the date of the classification, from the date of classification na siya, na held for sale siya. Okay. Next is letter D, no? In order to be called a highly probable, the asset or disposal group must be actively marketed for sale at a sale price that is reasonable in relation to the fair value. So yung sale price niya, okay, is reasonable. Okay, reasonable. Hindi mo siyempre, kumbaga, hindi naman yung ibig sabihin makukuha niya yung fair value. Halimbawa, nabenta niya yung binili niya yung equipment ng 1,000,000, no? 3 years ago. Tapos gusto niyang ibenta after 3 years. No, hindi niya na mabibenta yun ng 1,000,000. Well, obviously kasi let's say kung merong mga impairment loss yan, or let's say mga yung bang syempre depreciation and all, no? So mabibenta na yan, mas maliit doon sa cost, no? Pero kaya wag na siya mag-expect na mas malaki pa doon sa 1,000,000. Okay, so pwede niya maibenta baka kalahati na lang, or maybe or even 450, baka mas mababa pa sa kalahati, as long as it is reasonable. Kasi kung ibibenta niya ng Mariosep, no? Parang close pa doon sa dati niyang cost, no? Nananaginip sila, no? That is not highly probable. Maraming ganung business eh. Kala mo ginto yung binibenta nilang asset eh. Well, in fact, kumbaga value for value, no? Okay, so letter E, the actions required to complete the plan indicate that it is unlikely the plan that will be significantly changed, or kumbaga hindi siya hindi sila uurong, no? Okay? Not to back down. Okay? Not to back down from the plan. Ibig sabihin, tuloy yan. Okay? Walang, uy, sige, pagka ganito, walang kondisyon. Pagka tumaas ang value niya, no? Okay, na natin, wag na natin ituloy, no? Okay, gamitin na natin, no? Well, hindi ganon. So that is not highly probable. So kailangan yun yung conditions, no, para to be classified as held for sale. Number 1 is again immediate. There is an okay, immediate sale, no? Okay, immediate sale in the present condition as is where is. Pangalawa, it is highly probable. Yan. So ito yung mga kailangan na para matawag na non-current asset held for sale. Let's look at the measurement of the said asset. Measurement. okay, of asset. Okay, so asset held for sale. So, paano natin mini-measure ito? Okay, so sabi dito, no? PFRS number 5, PFRS 5, okay, paragraph 6 or paragraph 15. Okay. Provides that an entity shall measure a non-current asset or disposal group classified as held for sale at the lower. Okay? Okay. At the lower of carrying amount. Of the lower of carrying amount, kung ano raw mas mababa, carrying amount or fair value Okay? So ito, less yung mga cost of disposal. Okay? So less cost of disposal. Less cost of disposal. Ayan. Kasi syempre pagka bininta yung ano, yung property o yung asset, no? May kasamang ano yun. Kumbaga, may mga kasamang mga broker yun, yung mga nagbebenta, kaya nabenta yan, ganyan, ganyan. So tanggal na yun. Okay? Now, PFRS number 5, paragraph 25 further provides that a non-current asset classified as held for sale shall not be depreciated. So halimbawa, let's say bumili ka ng equipment 3 years ago, no? Which has a 5-year life, no? Pero after 3 years naisipan mong ibenta. Okay, dun sa katatlong taon, hindi mo na siya i-depreciate, okay? So, ganun lang ibig sabihin, no? Now, ano ba naman itong write down? Okay, pag-usapan natin itong write down, no? Okay, so write down. So, write down of asset held for sale. Yan. So, tingnan natin dito, no? Okay, so if the fair value less cost of disposal is lower than carrying amount of the asset or disposal group, the write down to fair value less cost of disposal is treated as an impairment loss. So pag ibig sabihin nito, no, pagkukumparahin natin yung fair value less cost of disposal, of course, no, less cost of disposal versus yung carrying amount. So pagkukumparahin natin yung dalawa na yan. Alam mo yung carrying amount, di ba? Yung cost ng asset, halimbawa 500,000, tapos let's say after 3 years nag-depreciate siya. Let's say ang depreciation niya 50,000 per month. So kada taon no nagde-depreciate siya, so 50 so 150,000, no? Okay? Or at least mga 400,000, so versus yung fair value. Okay, so yun yung pinaka niya. So pagkukumparahin na, so pag mas maliit yung mas lower yung fair value, less cost of disposal kaysa dun sa carrying amount, meron tayong tinatawag na, di ba napag-aralan natin yon, impairment loss, di ba? Okay, so impairment loss. Pagka mas mababa yung fair value, less cost of disposal doon sa carrying amount. Now, if the non-current asset is a disposal group, let's say, ito kung individual to, no? We're talking about individual assets dito. Individual asset. Okay? Dito. Pero paano naman raw kung, let's say, a group of asset, no? So, let's say it's a disposal group, no? Or let's say a group of asset. So if the non-current asset is a disposal group, the impairment loss is apportioned across the assets based on carrying amount. So let's say let's say 10 let's say a fleet of cars, 10 vehicles, no? Okay? So nagkaroon siya ng impairment loss, no? Okay? So let's say ang impairment loss niya 200,000. So i-apportion yung 200,000 na yun doon sa 10 vehicles based on their carrying amount. Okay? So para ma-measure yung O, yun yung mag-appear sa sa balance sheet, no? Okay, now subsequent, pag-usapan natin ngayon yung subsequent, no? Okay, subsequent increase in fair value. Paano kung tumaas yung fair value niya, no? So if subsequently there is an increase in fair value, less cost of disposal, PFRS number 5, no? Okay, so PFRS number 5, paragraph 21, provides that an entity shall recognize a gain. Okay, so magkakaroon raw ng gain. Kasi tumaas tumaas dun sa gain but not in excess of the impairment loss previously recognized. Okay, so gain but not in excess of the impairment loss. Okay, so ano ibig sabihin ganito? Halimbawa, let's say yung equipment, no? Binili nila 500, let's say equipment, no? Itong equipment na to, binili nila to 5 years ago, okay? Binili nila to 5 years ago. So, 3 years ago na lang. Sige, 3 years ago. 3 years ago binili nila, okay? Ang life ng equipment is palagay natin nasa 5 years, no? Okay? Tapos of course, let's say ang halaga niyan is cost is 500,000 pesos. Yan, 500,000. Now, let's say after 3 years, no, naisipan nilang ibenta yan. So ang ano niya, pinaka book value niya or yung carrying amount niya after 2 years, no, yung carrying amount niya, okay, CA, carrying amount is ano na lang, kumbaga, kasi kung 500,000 divided by 5, that would be 100,000 per year. So times 2, so 200,000 to 300,000 na lang. Yun yung carrying amount niya. Let's say for example, yung ano niya, yung fair value niya less cost of disposal ng asset, ng equipment na yan, no? Cost of disposal, no? Is palagay natin nasa 250,000. Okay? So obviously meron siyang impairment loss kasi mas mababa yung ano niya, yung fair value niya less cost of disposal kaysa dun sa carrying amount. So mag-recognize siya. Paano, let's say, biglang naka-recover, tumaas, no? Okay, now, let's say yung fair value from naging 250, no? Let's say after a year, tumaas siya. Okay? Naging 330,000. So merong nakabawi, no? Okay, na mas mataas pa doon sa impairment loss na na 50,000, no? Kasi ang impairment loss niya rito is 50,000. Okay? 300 less 250. Pero nakabawi siya, no? Okay, let's say after a year, yung kanyang fair value less cost of disposal, okay, is 330, no? Okay? So ano yung magkano i-consider mo? Hanggang 50,000 ka lang. Okay? Hanggang dito ka lang. Ayan. Ayan. Hanggang dito lang. Okay? Kahit na sabihin mong 80,000, yung tinaas pa, o doon sa hanggang doon lang, hanggang to the extent lang nung impairment loss previously recognized, which is up to 50,000. Okay? Now, let's look at the illustration dun sa page 676. Okay, so tignan natin to ha. So on January 1, 2020, an entity acquired an equipment at a cost of 5 million to be used in the ordinary course of business. The equipment has an estimated useful life of 10 years and a residual value of 500,000. Okay? So, ano yan? So, 5 million divided by 10, di ba? Okay, so yung illustration, no? Tingnan natin. Okay, yung illustration dito, magkano yung ano niya, magkano yung cost ng equipment. Yung cost ng equipment is 5M. Okay? Cost of equipment is 5 million. Okay, 5 million tapos yung ano niya, yung life niya, life is 10 years. Okay? 10 years. Tapos yung residual value, no? Residual or salvage value is magkano yun? 500,000. Okay, so paano natin ano yan? Paano natin i-compute ng depreciation yan? So pag-compute lang ng depreciation, di ba? 5 million less 500,000. Yan. Okay? Divided by 10 years. Okay? So magkano yon? That is about ano the equipment had an estimated life of 5 years, no? And the residual value of 500,000. Okay? So may kita natin dito na on January 1, 2023, okay, the equipment was classified as held for sale. So i-classify siya after 2020, 21, 22, after 3 years, kinasify siya as held for sale. So on such date, the fair value less cost of disposal was 1.9. On June 30, 2023, the equipment was sold for 1.5 million. Okay, so ganito, kunin muna natin yung ano, okay, kunin muna natin yung ano rito, yung pinaka classification nito. So i-remove na natin yung ano yung equipment, no? Gagawin nating ano siya yung bang equipment held for sale. Yun yung classification niya sa balance sheet, no? Okay, so to remove the equipment from property, plant and equipment and classify it as held for sale on January 1, 2023 kasi after 3 years, no? Okay, so by a debit to equipment held for sale. Okay, I hope you have yung ano yung kopya niyo ha. So nakikita mo na ginawa niyang equipment held for sale. Magkano 'yon? So that is 3,650,000. So paano nakuha 'yon? So kinuha muna yung carrying amount. So yung cost is, magkano yung cost? Nakita natin doon is 5M. Okay? So 5M less 500,000 kasi ito yung salvage so ito na yung, kunin na natin depreciation ha. Okay, so magkano po 'yon? Okay, wait lang. Kunin ko lang yung wait lang ha. Okay, so moving forward, so inano ko lang na kasi medyo naglolobat na yung computer, no? Okay. So pinag ko lang yung yung ating Okay, so ganito, no? So sa January 1, no? Okay, so ang dito, ang pinaka-issue dito is that i-reclassify natin yung equipment from an ordinary equipment, which is yung sa non-current asset, doon sa equipment held for sale. Okay? So on January 1, 2023. So kunin muna natin yung pinaka-carrying amount nung equipment. That's the first step, no? So 5 million, no? Kunin muna natin yung yung carrying amount niya. So lagay natin dito carrying amount, no? Okay, so paano po pagkuha nung carrying amount? So madali lang 'yon, that is 5 million. Okay, less mo yung 500,000 yung nakuha natin doon sa taas, no? Okay, so magkano yung pinaka niya, yung depreciable amount niya? So 4.5 million. Okay, so divide mo by 10 years kasi yun yung buhay niya. Okay? Now, i-ano mo siya, multiply mo by 3 years kasi 2020, okay? 2020 siya nabili, 2020, 2021, 2022. So as of 2022, no? December 31, 2022, na-depreciate mo siya by for 3 years, okay? Pero nag-decide ka lang nung the following year na, which is, well, of course, one day after, January 1, 2023. So magkano yung ano niya? Magkano yung pinaka ano niya? So yung ano niya, after 3 years, no? So 3 represents yung accumulated depreciation na. Okay? So that is 1 million. Kasi parang ano yan eh, kung gusto mo, no? 450, magiging ano yan eh, parang 450 times ano yan eh. Parang 450 times ano yan, no? Okay, so 450 yan times of 4,500,000 divided by 10 years, so 450, no? Times 3 years, so 1,350. Ganun lang yung of course, alam mo na pagkuha nun, di ba? Okay, so ang accumulated depreciation niya is 1,300,000. Okay? Okay, so 1,350. So kung kukunin mo yung ano niya, yung value niya dati, this is 5 million. Okay, 5 million, 'di ba? Less mo yung ano, yung 1 million at 1,350,000 na accu, no? Okay, so magkano po yung halaga niyan? No? 3 million nakalagay doon, 3,650,000. Di po ba nakalagay? So yan yung ano niya. So ang ano niya, ang entry niya, tumingin ka lang sa libro mo, no? Debit equipment held for sale, that's 3,650,000, no? Okay, so ang ano natin dito, equipment held for sale, this is 3,650,000. Yan. Tapos also debit accumulated depreciation, Yan. So magkano po ito? So na-compute rin natin, di ba? Nasa 1 million, no? 1,350,000, di ba? Okay? Nandiyan rin sa libro mo yan. And then credit natin yung equipment. So tinatanggal na natin siya dun sa equipment na asset section, which is 5 million pesos. Okay, so yan yung ano. That is to reclassify the asset from equipment to equipment held for sale. Number 2 is yung ano. Number 2 is to measure the equipment held for sale at the lower of carrying amount and fair value less cost of disposal. Okay, so titignan mo kung ano yung ano niya, yung now magkano yung ano niya, magkano yung carrying amount niya. Yung carrying amount nung ano nung January 1, 2023 is na-compute natin kanina is 3,650,000, di ba? Okay, yun yung sa number 1 computation. Tapos, ililess mo yung fair value niya. Fair value less cost of disposal, less cost. So, tatanda mo yan, fair value less cost of disposal, no? Hindi lang fair value, no? Okay, so, ano yung value niya, yung less cost of disposal? Di ba nakalagay doon? The equipment was classified as for sale. On such date, the fair value less cost of disposal was estimated at 1,900,000. So pag kukumparahin mo sila, so nakikita natin na mas maliit yung fair value versus cost of disposal. Therefore, anong meron siya? Impairment loss. Okay? So meron siyang impairment loss na magkano? So kunin mo lang yung difference ng dalawa, yung fair value less cost of disposal. So magkano yon, no? Okay, so kunin lang natin yon. So this is about 3,650,000 less 1.9. Magkano yun? So 1,750 ayun yung impairment loss niya, di ba nakalagay 1,750 impairment loss, okay? Impairment loss, yan. Now, i-ano natin yun, i-entry natin yan. So, paano natin i-journal entry yon, no? So, lagay natin dito, debit impairment loss, no? Okay, para bumaba yung value nung ano into fair value less cost of disposal. So that is 1,750,000. And then ano yung yung ano sa natin i-credit dun sa equipment held for sale. Equipment held for sale, which is magkano po yon? Ito po. So wag ganun rin 1,750,000 para bumaba siya doon sa fair value less cost of equipment. Okay, so after that entry, ano yung next? I-record na natin yung sale of equipment, no? Kasi sabi on June 23 the equipment was sold for 1.5 million. Now, okay, so nakita natin yung ano niya, yung fair value niya, yung which is yun na yung ano niya, yun na yung pinaka new carrying amount niyan kasi nagkaroon nga ng impairment loss, yung fair value less yung bago niyang carrying amount is magkano na, no? New carrying amount is magkano na, no? Yung ano yung which is 1,900,000. Di ba na-compute natin dun sa taas, no? Okay? Yung fair value less cost of disposal which is 1.9, which is less than the carrying amount. So ito na yung magiging new carrying amount niya. Pero yung ano niya, nabenta siya, it was sold for, okay, yung selling price niya is magkano yung selling price niya? Nakalagay doon, it's 1 million, 1.5 lang na ibenta yung equipment. So therefore, meron siyang 400,000 pesos loss. Okay? So yan yung loss. Now, of course, the entry no, na gagawin natin is debit cash. Kasi cash yung natanggap natin na binenta. No? That is 1.5 million. Okay? Now, of course, meron tayong loss, i-recognize natin. So, loss no, on sale of equipment. On sale of equipment. Okay? So, yun yung ano. Okay, so how much is that one? So, that is 400,000. Okay? Okay, so yan na natin dito. Yan. Masyadong. Yan. Okay, and then yung pinaka niya, yung pinaka credit. Okay, so tatanggalin natin doon sa equipment held for sale. Okay, so para wala na siya doon sa So magka-cancel out na 'yon. Okay, so equipment held for sale which is 1.9. So this is 1.9, 1,900,000. Yan. Yan. So may question ba tayo dyan? Any clarification you want to clarify? Type 1 kung may clarification or question. Type 2 kung wala naman. With regard dun sa entry, dun sa mga. How about the others? Okay. Okay, good. So, anuhan na natin we can move forward, no? So yung puntahan natin yung page 677, no? 677. Tapusin na natin tong buong chapter bago ko kayo ibigyan ng break, no? Sandali na lang to. Okay, so dun sa sa page 677 yung abandoned. Okay, abandoned non-current asset. Okay. So, PFRS number 5. Paragraph 13 provides that an entity shall not classify as held for sale a non-current asset or disposal group that is to be abandoned. So, ibig sabihin, kung i-abandon nila yon, hindi nila pwedeng i-classify as held for sale. Magkaiba kasi yung held for sale kaysa doon sa abandoned, no? Okay, abandoned, ibig sabihin, abandoned asset na yan. Hindi mo naman talaga ibibenta yan. So this is because the carrying amount will be recovered principally through continuing use, or the non-current asset is to be used until the end of its economic life. Kumbaga, nagbago yung isip, no? Okay? Para bang instead na ibenta, iba-abandon na nila yung plano na ibebenta. Okay? Kasi nakita nila, baka mas kumita pa tayo pagka ni-retain natin kasi meron pang value, meron pa sila nakikitang value. So yun yung tinatawag so hindi siya i-classify as non-current asset held for sale. Now, ano naman yung isa, yung temporarily abandoned? Yung temporarily abandoned. Okay? So nakalagay dito, ang temporarily abandoned, PFRS 5 paragraph 14 provides that an entity shall not account for a non-current asset that has been temporarily taken out of use as if it had been abandoned. Okay, so shall not account for non-current asset that has been temporarily taken out of use as if it has abandoned. For example, an entity ceases to use a manufacturing plant because demand for its product has declined. However, the plant maintained in workable condition and it is expected that it will be brought back into use if demand picks up. In this case, the plant is not regarded as abandoned. So ganito 'yon, no. Halimbawa, sila, no. Gumagawa sila ng meron sila doon sa factory nila or doon sa planta nila, no, na gumagawa sila, let's say, ng gadget, no. Okay, let's say a cell phone, no. Okay, a cell phone. Ito yung ginagawa nila. Now, cellphone, no, medyo yan. Palagay natin it's a let's say it's a component of a let's say of a computer, component or part of a computer, no, of a computer, no. Okay, now nakikita nila na nagkaroon ng bumaba yung demand doon. Okay, kasi nagkaroon sila ng competition or nagkaroon seasonal, no. So ano yung niyan? Now, ito yung tinatawag na temporarily abandoned. Ibig sabihin, since bumaba yung demand, hindi muna nila gagamitin. No? So pagka temporarily abandoned, no? Okay, hindi naman ibig sabihin held for sale na. Okay? Kasi pagka nag-pick up na yung demand, lumakas na yung demand ng component ulit, ng computer, no? Then gagamitin ulit nila yon. So in such case, yung PFRS number 5 paragraph 14 ang mag-govern doon, no? So hindi siya, no. So shall not account for non-current asset that has been temporarily abandoned, taken out of use as if it had been abandoned. So hindi siya abandoned talaga katulad nung naunang sinabi natin, no. Okay, kasi parang pinagpahinga lang since walang masyadong demand dun sa, let's say, dun sa component of a computer, no. Okay, now change in classification. So makita natin dito yung change in classification. So we see here na circumstances could arise leading to the non-current asset no longer being classified as held for sale. So for example, there is a decision not to sell the non-current asset or the criteria for being classified as held for sale may no longer be met. So in such a case, paragraph 5 of PFRS number 5, paragraph 27 of PFRS 5 provides that the entity shall measure the non-current asset that ceases to be classified as held for sale at the lower between. Okay, so letter A, ito naman yung change in classification, no? Change in classification. Ayan. So ano yung niya, no? Okay, so letter A, carrying amount. So raw natin yan, no? Okay, so carrying amount of the asset on the basis that the asset had not been classified had not been classified as held for sale. Ayan. So ayan yung so yun yung kumbaga parang sila parang i-change yung classification, no. So halimbawa, hindi na siya there is a decision not to sell the non-current asset or the criteria for being classified as held for sale may no longer be met. So, yung paragraph 5 of yung PFRS number 5 of paragraph 27 provides that the entity shall measure the non-current asset that ceases to be classified as held for sale at the lower of yung letter A, carrying amount of the asset on the basis that the asset had not been classified as held for sale, or letter B, no, recoverable amount. Okay, so it's either yung carrying amount or recoverable amount, no? Okay. So alam ko napansin mo yan. Yan, recoverable amount. So at the date of the subsequent decision not to sell. So pag yung mas mababa dito sa dalawa, yung carrying amount, okay? Carrying amount versus yung itong recoverable amount, no? So yung mas mababa doon, the lower between these two, yung highlight ko. Okay? So yan yung kanyang magiging valuation. So illustration on page 678, no? Para dito sa change in classification. Okay? Ang sabi dyan, an entity purchased equipment, okay, for 5 million on January 1, 2020 with a useful life of 10 years and no residual value. Okay, so wala raw siyang residual value. No? So, ibig sabihin, yun na yung depreciable asset niya, yung 5 million. So, 5 million divided by 10. On December 31, 2021, the entity classified the asset as held for sale. Okay, so this is about after 2 years, no? Kasi January 1, 2020, tapos the following year, that's another year, no? So that's 2 years, no? The fair value less cost of disposal of the equipment on December 31, 2021 is 3.2 million. Ayan, so mas mababa yung mababa yung fair value niya, less cost of disposal. So pagkukumparahin natin yung carrying amount saka yung fair value maya-maya, no? So on December 31, 2022, the fair value less cost of disposal of equipment is 3.6. So tumaas from 3.2 naging 3.6. On December 31, 2022, the entity believed that the criteria for classification as held for sale can no longer be met. So hindi na nila ibinenta. Okay, so abandoned, no? Kumbaga, nagkaroon ng change of classification. Accordingly, the entity decided not to sell the asset but to continue to use it. So, yan. So, instead na ibibenta raw nila, no? Gagamitin na lang nila. Okay? Kasi nakita nila na tumaas naman yung value ng equipment dahil doon. Okay, so accordingly, the entity, ayan, so to record the purchase of the equipment, so i-debit muna, of course, noong January 1, 2020, debit cash, debit equipment, no? Okay, so debit equipment, kung magkano man yon, so nakalagay doon, it is 5 million, okay? Yan. And then credit yung cash, kasi cash naman nabili, no? Okay, so that's why it's credit for 5 million, okay? And then yung pangalawa naman, no? To depreciate for 2020. Okay, so depreciation, so 1 year lang naman yan, no? Kasi from January 1, 2020 to December 31, that's 1 year, no? So that is paano yung computation yan? Again, this is 5M divided by 10 years, di ba? So yung yearly depreciation niya, that would be 500,000. Okay? Tapos yung ACU niya, accumulated depreciation, that is also for 500,000. Ayan. Okay? Now, yung number 3 is to record the depreciation for 2021. Okay? So, the fair value less cost of disposal. Yeah. So, for 2021, so debit depreciation. Okay, so magkano po ito? Nakalagay doon, it's 500. Of course, na-compute na natin. inulit lang natin yung ano, this is for 2021, no? Okay, so yan. So this is so honestly same rin, no? The same. Copying ko na lang kaya ito, no? So para isahan na lang, no? Para ganun din naman yun eh. Okay. So ito yung ano. So this is for 2020, no? Okay, so for 2020 to, no? 2020. Yan. Depreciation. Tapos ito naman for 2021. Yan. Okay? Now, yung number 4 is to remove the asset, no? Kasi classify siya nung December 31, 2021, classify siya as held for sale. So, yung number 4 is to remove the asset from property, plant, PPE and classify it as held for sale. So, debit equipment, kumbaga di ba pagka nagde-debit tayo, ibig sabihin, doon sa asset, ibig sabihin, yun yung ano natin, yun yung siya na yung bagong account, no? Okay? Account name. So debit held for sale. Yan. So magkano yun? This is for for 5 million, no? Para so ito yung so magkano yun again? This is for equipment held for sale, that is for 4 million. Okay? Bakit 4 million? Kasi meron ng depreciation, no? Okay, tapos debit natin yung yung accumulated, no? Okay, accumulated depreciation. Magkano 'yon, 'di ba? Nakita natin kanina based on our computation 500,000. So 1 million na 'yon by December 31, 2021. So ang ano natin dito is yung equipment. So debit equipment, how much is that, no? Tatanggalin na natin siya dun sa asset na dun sa PPE. Okay, so for 5 million. Ayan. Now, sa number 5 naman, to measure the equipment held for sale at lower of cost and disposal. So nakita natin kanina, no, base doon is yung fair value ng asset, yung of course nakita na ngayon natin yung carrying amount natin ngayon, yung bagong carrying amount natin, new carrying amount, okay, is carrying amount is for M, di ba? Pero yung versus yung fair value less cost of disposal, magkano yon? So that is 3.2 million. So meron siyang impairment loss, no? Okay, so merong impairment loss of how much? Impairment loss of how much? That is 800,000. Okay? So i-ano natin, no? I-account natin to. Now, i-ano natin dito, so debit this is debit impairment loss, no? I-recognize natin. Okay, so impairment loss. Yan. So magkano 'yon? Kung magkano yung na-compute natin, no? So 800,000. So this is carrying amount of 4 million less yung fair value niya, less cost of disposal nung December 31, 2022 na 3.6. So equipment held for sale, okay? So ito na yung bagong account niya, which is how much is that one? Okay, so that would be 800,000. Yan. Okay? Now, pagdating raw ng December nung December 31, 2022, after 1 year, tumaas raw. So on December 31, 2022, after 1 year, the fair value less cost of disposal of the equipment is 3.6 million. Okay, so anong nangyari? Ano ibig sabihin nun? So nagkaroon siya ng gain, no? So anong nun? Ano yung pinaka ano nun? So nakalagay doon magkano ba yung ano, magkano yung equipment natin ngayon, yung carrying amount niya. So this is for number 6, no? Okay, so for number 6, ang new carrying amount is nasa 3.2. Okay? 3.2 million, no? Kasi nga nag-ano tayo ng impairment loss. Okay, now yung yung depreciation niya, no, nung equipment, no, dapat doon sa sa carrying amount. So paano 'yon? Yung carrying amount, 'di ba? Carrying amount as of December 31, 2021 is 4 million. Tapos kung i-depreciate raw natin 'yan para sa 2022, that could have been 500,000. Ayun, nakalagay diyan sa libro mo, no? Okay, so hindi na natin isusulat dito, no? So meron siyang carrying amount na ano, okay? Meron siyang carrying amount na for na ano na magkano 'yon? That's 3.5 million. Okay? Kasi ito yung 4 million na book value ng asset mo, yung equipment held for sale, less yung so book value, no? Less yung o yung carrying amount, yung yung nakalagay doon, no, yung nandoon sa doon sa classified as held for sale, no, less yung yung depreciation for the year, which is 500,000, no? Okay. Bakit 500,000 pa rin? Baka base pa rin siya doon sa 5 million. Kasi ito yung ito naman yung original na depreciation. Ito yung original cost. So 5 million divided by 10 years, no? Okay, that's why it's 5 million, 500,000. Okay? So pagkukumparahin natin yung yung 3.5, no, saka yung 3.2. Yung 3.2, ito na yung carrying amount per book, no, kasi nga 'di ba nagkaroon tayo ng impairment loss. So meron tayong loss ngayon, no. Since naka-recover tayo, naging 3.6, no. Okay, so ang meron tayong gain, nagkaroon tayo ng gain, okay? Gain on reclassification. Magkano yun? This is yung 3.2 less 3.5 less 3.2, that's 300K. Okay? Nakalagay doon. Ayan. So, this is simple. Yung entry lang dito is debit equipment held for sale. Held for sale. For how much? That is 300,000. Okay? And then, credit yung gain, no? Gain on reclassification. Okay? So, magkano yun? This is for 300,000. Yeah. Okay? So, may question ba so far? So, on December 31, 2022, equipment is measured at 3.5 because this is lower than the fair value less cost of disposal na 3.6. Ayun yung ginawa nating ayun yung ginawa nating 'di ba? Ang sabi natin, pagka nagkaroon ng reclassification, no, 'di ba? Bumalik ulit tayo doon sa page 677. If there is in such a case, PFRS number 5, paragraph 27 provides that the entity shall measure the non-current asset that ceases to be classified as held for sale at the lower between carrying amount of the asset on the basis that the asset had not been classified as held for sale versus recoverable amount of the date of the subsequent decision not to sell. So, kinuha lang natin yung na yon. Ito yung parang nag-govern dun sa dito sa transaction na to, yung number 6. Kasi nga siya, kumbaga ni-reclassify niya ulit kasi parang sinabi niya na na hindi na lang nila bebenta. Okay? So, i-reclassify nila. Okay, so inibando nila yung yung kanilang decision na held for sale to ano na lang, to just use it na lang, gagamitin na lang niya. So in such a case raw, na kukunin natin yung the lower between yung carrying amount of the asset on the basis that the asset had not been classified as held for sale. So yung dati niyang original amount, which is 5 million, yung ano niya, yung divided by 10 years kung ilang yung depreciation niya. Okay? So that's 500,000 less yung dati niya, less yung ano niya, yung kanyang carrying amount na 4 million. Okay? So that is why 3.5 million. Tapos versus yung ano yung recoverable amount niya. Ano ba yung recoverable amount? Yung 3.2, di ba? Ito yung new CA niya. Di ba? Kung naalala nyo pa yung pinag-aralan natin sa impairment loss, di ba? Yung recoverable amount, siya na yung tumatayo na parang bagong siya na yung tumatayo na bagong carrying amount, di ba? Okay, so this is a combination of yung impairment loss. So parang impairment loss na yung may combination na ito ng impairment loss, no? Okay, so may question ba? Type 1 kung may question ka pa, type 2 kung wala. Okay? Hanggang doon? Okay, so good. So, puntahan natin sa number 7. Yung number 7, no? Okay, number 7, so to reclassify the equipment as property, plant, and equipment on December 31, 2022. Okay, so ibig sabihin, inano mo na, parang i-reclassify mo na ulit, ipapasok mo na ulit siya sa doon sa equipment kasi nga so tatanggalin mo na siya doon sa account na equipment held for sale. So kukunin natin yung pinaka niya, yung original na amount niya na which is less yung accumulated depreciation. So this is equipment 3.5 million, no? Okay, so ito na ulit yung mag-a-appear dun sa books, no? Okay, and then credit equipment held for sale. Okay, so held for sale, which is also 3.5 million. Okay, kasi merong gain niya na 300,000, di ba? Okay, and then yung para sa number 8, no? Kukunin na lang natin yung remaining life nung after it has been reclassified. So debit depreciation. Okay, so magkano yon? So ikukunin natin yun, no? Okay, so this is nakalagay diyan, no? 500,000. Okay, kasi ito yung original, di ba? Accumulated depreciation, no? Accumulated depreciation which is actually 3.5 yung kanyang bagong book value or yung carrying amount niya. Okay, so divided by remaining years which is 7 years. Okay? So dito rin pala siya kumbaga tumungo dun sa hindi rin pala niya ibebenta. So this is 500,000. Okay, so ang new carrying amount niyan for as of December 31, 2022 is 3 million. Okay? So, yan. And then, yung presentation, so, punta tayo sa 680, nakalagay doon. So, PFRS number 5, paragraph 3 provides that the assets classified as non-current asset in accordance with PAS number 1 shall not be reclassified as current asset until they meet the criteria to be classified as held for sale. Ayan. So, yung pagka classify yung asset from equipment to held for sale, okay, so under yung provides that assets classified as non-current in accordance with PAS shall not be reclassified as current asset until they meet the criteria to be classified as held for sale. So hindi siya i-classify as current asset hanggat hindi nila namimit yung criteria na held for sale. Ano nga ba 'yon? Yung criteria na 'yon. First is there must be yung there must be yung bang immediate sale, no, in the present condition as is, where is, and then it is highly probable. So 'yon, makaka-classify na siya as held for sale, which is also magiging current asset siya kasi mabebenta siya within 1 year. Simply stated, non-current asset that is already classified as held for sale shall be presented separately as current asset. Ayun. Okay, so paragraph 5 of PFRS number 5 provides that if the non-current asset is a disposal group classified as held for sale, the asset and liabilities of a group shall be presented separately and cannot be offset as a single amount. So, yan. So, ika-classify separately. Okay? So, in other words, the assets of the disposal group shall be described as non-current assets classified as held for sale, presented separately as a single amount under current assets. So, ika-classify siya as non-current assets classified as held for sale, yung group of asset under separately as current asset, no? Okay? So, the liabilities of the disposal group shall be described as liabilities directly associated with non-current asset classified as held for sale, presented separately as a single amount under current liability. So kung merong let's say fleet of cars, no? Okay, na ibebenta, fleet of vehicles na ibebenta, now ika-classify siya, fleet meaning maraming vehicles, no? Okay, so group of assets siya na ibebenta. So classify siya as held for sale. Now, yung asset na yon ika-classify as a current asset separately as current asset, yung fleet of vehicles. Pero yung utang, let's say kung may mga encumbrances yung mga assets na yon, ika-classify naman siya as current liabilities. Okay? So, if you have any questions, just type 1. If you don't have any more questions, just type 2 so we can take our break, no? Okay, and then pagbalik natin, sasagutan natin yung mga end of the chapter exercises. Okay?